We've sent humans to the moon. We've explored the surface of Mars, but 95% of our own ocean has never been seen. Because what's down there makes space look safe. Pressure that crushes submarines, and creatures that look like they're from another planet. The deeper you go, the more wrong it gets. And you're about to see why. So let's descend, layer by layer, from the last place humans can survive to depths where survival stops meaning anything at all. Layer 1, Twilight Zone, where your eyes fail. This is the first layer below the surface, where the ocean begins to feel unfamiliar. Here, at around 200 meters down, a diver would be in near total darkness. Their eyes would be useless. Only 1% of sunlight reaches here. Everything is shadows and shapes. The temperature has dropped to 10 degrees Celsius. That's 50 degrees Fahrenheit, cold enough to send a human body into shock within minutes. But here's where it gets disturbing. This is where the predators start changing. Fish down here have teeth longer than their heads, transparent fangs that are invisible in the darkness, jaws that unhinge to swallow prey twice their size. If a diver encountered one of these, they wouldn't see it coming, because everything here evolved to kill in the dark, where you can't see, can't react, can't fight back. And somehow, this is still survivable. With the right equipment, humans have been here. But below this layer, the rules stop applying, because below 1,000 meters, that's where it becomes impossible. Layer 2, Midnight Zone, where pressure kills. Once you pass the Twilight Zone, you enter a place humans were never meant to reach. At this level of the ocean, around 1,000 meters down, the pressure is 1,500 pounds per square inch. That's 100 times the pressure at the surface. No light has reached this depth in 4 billion years. It's pitch black. The temperature is 2 degrees Celsius, just above freezing. And yet, something is moving down here. Something with a glowing light. The only light in this eternal darkness. It dangles from a creature's head like a fishing lure. And that's exactly what it is. A trap. The anglerfish uses that light to attract prey in the darkness. Anything that swims toward it gets swallowed by a mouth full of fangs. Fangs so large they have special sockets in the skull. Down here, light doesn't mean safety. It means death. But you haven't even heard the most disturbing part yet. The anglerfish itself is proof of how wrong this place is. The males are 60 times smaller than females. When they mate, the male bites the female, and his body fuses into hers permanently. His eyes dissolve, his organs shut down. He becomes a parasite attached to her skin. Still alive, but no longer independent. A single female can have 6 males fused to her body at once. That's what this environment does to life. But if you think that's the worst of it, just wait, because we're only halfway down, and what comes next will haunt you. Layer 3, Abyssal Zone, where nothing escapes. Below the Midnight Zone, the ocean opens into a vast, crushing emptiness. At this depth, around 4,000 meters, the pressure reaches 5,800 pounds per square inch. That's 400 times surface pressure. A human body at this depth would be crushed so completely, their bones would shatter like glass. Their skull would implode. It would happen so fast, they wouldn't even register the pain. This is the Abyssal Zone, mile after mile of flat, lifeless mud, stretching in every direction, the most desolate place on Earth. And here's what will disturb you. Nothing hunts here. There's no energy for that. Everything here waits. Giant isopods, the size of footballs, sit motionless on the ocean floor for years. They've been recorded going 5 years without eating. 5 years, just sitting there in total darkness, waiting for something to die. Because the only food down here is death. When a whale dies at the surface, it sinks for hours until it lands down here. And within minutes, hundreds of scavengers appear, crawling out of the darkness, swarming the corpse, stripping it to bone. And here's what will keep you up tonight. If a human body somehow made it down here, this is what would happen to it. Consumed in the darkness by creatures that have been waiting in the dark for years. There's no light here, no warmth, no movement, just waiting. This is what the planet looks like when you remove everything familiar. And somehow, life still exists. But you're not ready for what's next, because there's one more place to go. The deepest, darkest place on Earth. And what lives there shouldn't be possible. Layer 4. Hadal Zone. Beyond survival. This final layer exists beyond everything we understand about life. Below 6,000 meters begins the Hadal Zone, named after Hades, the underworld. The pressure here is 16,000 pounds per square inch. A nuclear submarine would be crushed like a tin can. The Titanic sits at 3,800 meters. The Hadal Zone goes twice as deep. The Mariana Trench, the deepest point on Earth, is 11,000 meters down. That's 7 miles beneath the surface. If you dropped Mount Everest into the Mariana Trench, there would still be over a mile of water above the peak. Let that sink in. Nothing should survive here. The pressure should make life impossible. But in 2017, scientists sent a camera down, and something was there. A fish, translucent, no scales, because scales would crack under the pressure. You can see its brain, its heart, its organs. It looks unfinished, like evolution gave up halfway. What scientists saw next wasn't expected. When they dropped bait into the trench, thousands of creatures appeared. At the deepest, most isolated point on Earth, swarming, crawling over each other, tearing apart the bait. They're called giant amphipods, and they're everywhere down there. Even at the bottom of the world, you're not alone. So what else is down there? What else evolved in crushing darkness for millions of years? What else learned to survive in conditions that would kill anything from our world? What else shouldn't exist? If you want to see what other nightmares are hiding in nature, subscribe as your support for our channel. It'd really go a long way to help us reach more people.